Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me again. I'm your movie guru, back with another review. This time I'm going to be reviewing a film that just recently debuted on Netflix called Outside the Wire. It stars Anthony Mackie. A lot of you will know him as a guy who played Falcon in the Avengers movies. And then Damson Idris. A lot of you will recognize him if you're fans of the TV show Snowfall, which I highly recommend. It's a really good show. But this film, for those of you who don't know anything about it, it's set sometime in the near future. The United States finds itself in this conflict overseas, and it's in the future far enough where we have a little bit of artificial intelligence. And a drone soldier or a drone pilot makes a mistake, and so they send him out into the field, you know, to get some experience, real combat experience, not just, you know, on an Air Force base using a remote control. And he ends up being teamed up with a fully functioning, you know, artificially intelligent android. And, you know, that's all I want to say about that. That's all that you could see in the trailer. It's got a 38% score by the critics. They gave it an average of 5 out of 10. But it's got a 66% score by the audience with an average of 3.5 out of 5 stars. I will tell you, I 100% agree with the audience on this one. Reading some of the reviews, I kind of understood why, you know, some critics gave it the score they did. You know, the common thing that I kept seeing was that it has, you know, enough action to keep you satisfied, but it's not something that you're going to remember afterward. I disagree, and the reason why is not only is this film packed with action, you know, there's not a dull moment, you know, not to say that it doesn't give you a break. You know, there are definitely slow scenes that kind of build upon the last scene, you know, to give you a break from just nonstop action, but definitely enough action throughout the whole film. Like I said, you're not bored, it's not dull, you're not wondering, okay, you know, when are we gonna, can we speed things up here? So not only does it do a great job of that, I will say Anthony Mackie as an android was definitely one of the better renditions of artificial intelligence that I have seen in a while. So I mean, so we've seen artificial intelligence in, you know, movies like Terminator, obviously the Terminator, and then in films like Ex Machina, but and even in Morgan, but when we see these renditions, the robot is always kind of the same. You know, it's something that's approaches human, but, you know, is not quite human. You know, you can definitely tell that, you know, it is robotic in nature, you know, that it is a machine or a computer, you know, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it's easy to tell it from a human, and you can, and usually there's some big quandary around, you know, how they can be intelligent, you know, but they don't have emotions. So, you know, they're smart and calculating and understand things, you know, better than human. But, you know, the common theme that always happens is, but they don't understand humanity. You know, they don't understand emotion. This one was very different than that, in that the android, you know, Anthony Mackie, he's, you would say they set him up as more human than the drone pilot that he's paired with. And throughout the film, you kind of have to see the drone pilot kind of, you know, discover humanity, his humanity, you know, through what they go through. And that's only one of the plot themes that this film shows. I think it's more deep than you might think upon a first viewing. First viewing, you might just think that's, okay, it's an action film, you know, about artificial intelligence. You know, it's there to entertain me. but there's actually a couple of subplots that I think that are very interesting. The obvious one is, you know, the role of America in foreign wars and what wars of the future might look like and some of the moral questions with that. But another subplot that I think that you might miss is some of the dangers of artificial intelligence, you know, in that it's very hard to program them to not have side consequences, you know, that you can't think of. I mean, it's when you're thinking about, you know, how intelligent something like that could be, you know, something like a computer could be, and then you're trying to put in safeguards to something that is, you know, quite frankly, can be orders of magnitude more intelligent, you know, than humans. And this, you know, approaches that subject a little bit. It doesn't get super deep into it. You know, it's a bit of the plot, but I find that fascinating, and you know, it really does make you think. So I think this film is a lot better than what you might first think. Like I say, it's great action. I like the battle scenes. You know, the special effects are good. The acting's good. You know, no complaints there. And then what I always say is a movie has to have great characters for you to enjoy it. And you know, while you might not everyone, you know, might resonate with Damson's character. You know, he might not be especially memorable. You know, I can think about 4 or 5, 10 years from now, you might not necessarily remember him, especially for that role in that film. But the role of the android, I think, is highly memorable. And, you know, when you think of the way robots have been portrayed, you know, cyborgs, computers, you know, what have you, I think his is definitely one of the more memorable performances, at least to me. You know, it's one of the better ones that I've seen. It's a completely different take, you know, on the whole cold robot. You know, what if a robot wasn't cold? You know, what if it could feel emotions? You know, what if it was, you know, definitely had emotional decisions, you know, that factored into the logical, you know, cold calculating logic that it can do, but it did factor in emotion into these decisions. So I really enjoyed the film. I give it an 8 out of 10. You know, especially given, you know, if you've already got Netflix, you don't have to, you know, go to pay more to see it. And I think this is something that absolutely could have, I could see myself going to the theaters to watch. So given that, you know, you've got what could be a big screen production, just readily available on Netflix, and then, you know, to me to have it that quality, I definitely give this one an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. But that's my review. You guys let me know what you think. If you think I'm crazy and you go and watch it and you just wasted my time because that's not, you know, a good movie, write me a comment. You know, we can talk about it. Once again, thank you guys for the support. I will see you on the next one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and have a great day, guys.